Former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd says the federal government should conduct a national security review of the Darwin port lease to a Chinese company. The ex-Labor leader says he thinks the coalition will tear up the long-term lease in the lead-up to the next election. But the government says the deal isn't subject to new laws allowing it to veto foreign arrangements.
When the Darwin port was leased by the former CLP government to Chinese company Landbridge in 2015, it was hailed as an economic boon for the Northern Territory.
But now is our opportunity to be able to long lease the port, seek private sector investment.
But the $500 million deal, lasting 99 years, has been contentious from the outset. And now former Labor Prime Minister Kevin Rudd has called on the Morrison government to review whether the lease is in the national interest.
Make a clear public statement about the core national interests, economic and in terms of political security, which are at stake through the continued ownership, in effect, of the Port of Darwin by this Chinese company.
The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade says the port deal is not subject to new legislation that led to the Commonwealth recently revoking Victoria's Belt and Road Agreement with China. And last weekend, the Defence Minister was non-committal as to whether the Foreign Affairs Minister, Marise Payne, would consider reviewing the port lease.
I think it's a question for Marise to look at these individual cases. If it's not in our national interest, then obviously she'll act.
The federal opposition leader says there's inconsistency in the government's stance.
The government needs to explain how its national security legislation fits with the Port of Darwin sale.
Kevin Rudd says he thinks the coalition will eventually move to nationalise the port for political purposes, even if it comes at a cost of $500 million to bring the facility back into Australian control.
This is all about the high political symbols of this government seeking to create a national security environment for the conduct of the next national election.
But Northern Territory CLP Senator Sam McMahon says she understands Defence has no security concerns about the port. She says any federal scrutiny should instead focus on whether Landbridge is meeting its contractual obligations.
To see if the arrangements that were in that contract regarding infrastructure spend are being upheld.
A contract that for now still has 93 years left to run. Jano, Gibson, ABC News.